What's the worst thing you've seen read on Reddit? 1. Story about the kid who was told to do house chores while his mom and sister went grocery shopping, only to find out they died in a car accident while out. The mom had told him before leaving not to play video games and to do his chores. Kid didn't play on his console for a few years after that, and at some point decided to play it for nostalgia. Well, he opened the disc tray, and it was a note saying something along the lines of, "I told you no video games, but I want to cut you some slack so you can play until we get back. I love you, Zoxo." I never cry, but that shit had me tearing up, man. 2. That story of the guy who discovered his son abusing the family dog. He told his wife. She didn't believe him and left him, taking the son and the dog with her. The son denied everything and accused the dad of abusing the dog. Did you see the update on that? After the divorce, his ex-wife called him because the dog bit him in the stomach and he had to go to the hospital. Kid denied what happened. The kid's mom walked in on him abusing the dog, called the ex, had him come and take the dog, apologized to him and wanted to get back together. The guy is living a great life with the dog. 3. An exhausted and exasperated woman's detailed and guilt-filled description of how she is unable to continue dealing with taking care of her severely handicapped son. I read something similar. I won't say worst, but it is certainly the reading that saddened me the most. Similar picture. Single mom. 2 kids. 1 severely disabled. It was not the mom writing, it was the healthy kid, who hated his very disabled sister because he understood his mom was fully on her, that all the money they had was for her. The sister was pretty much a teen version of the kid in your story. No comms, no verbal, no bowel control, no move. The mother kept pushing her in his life, guilt forcing him for have her hanged with his friends. The son was about to leave high school and just was told that he probably wouldn't get to college because his mom couldn't afford it with all the expense for his sister. I also fully understand the guy. I fully understand the mother. There is no good here. I know I'm going to get downvoted to hell for this, but there was a time when a baby that disabled would go on to live, and that was for the best for everyone, including the child. Life is shit enough without all that other strife on top of it. Then again, it's easy for me to say this because I never believed in the "this is your one and only life and life is special" crap. Life is literally everywhere. It isn't special at all. I have no complaints about the life I had before I was born, so I won't after I die either. 4. I think a lot of stuff has been covered in this thread already, but one that got to me was a video of some horse wranglers trying to get 2 horses to mate. The female was freaked out and clearly didn't want any part of it, so she kicked the male in the head and one-shotted him. Dying from a single blow to the head with a boner whilst shitting yourself has got to be one of the worst ways to go. I saw that video. It's scary how quick the male horse just turned off, as if someone just flicked a switch. 5. There was a video of a guy shooting his wife's ex-husband, and it looked premeditated as fuck. Not in that they went and shot him, more like they invited him over and started some shit so it'd get heated, and the new husband could say he was defending himself. 6. There was a story told by this completely unhinged woman. I think it was on relationship advice. She married a man who was a widower and was jealous of the deceased wife. So she decided to delete all the photos they had of her as a way to help him move on, or whatever bullshit she was telling herself. And you could tell by the story that she did not think what she did was wrong. And to make matters worse, this man had children with his late wife, meaning she not only deleted pictures of his wife, but also deleted pictures of their late mother. On the bright side, Reddit absolutely eviscerated her in the comments, but the whole situation left me with a shitty feeling. 7. Guy's wife gave him an ultimatum. It was her or the meth. They've been married for 16 years. Her, being 2 years sober, was threatening divorce, but the husband was asking advice on if he should stay with her in this family or stick to meth. Reading through his responses to other people, he was definitely leaning towards meth. Pretty sad. 8. There was a story about a couple who locked their elderly brother, a military veteran, in their garage and were cashing in his pension checks. They were throwing alcohol and scarce food into the garage occasionally. He was a diabetic and his extremities died. When he was found, he had wrapped his feet in plastic bags, and when removed, the flesh had all but gone and he was covered in maggots. They found his genitals and anus were also in the same state. He was being eaten alive from the inside out. Died in surgery and they went to prison forever. 9. A thread where young men could not understand consent. The post featured a news article about a man who raped a woman in her sleep. Redditors simply could not grasp that she could not consent while asleep, because she had intercourse with the accused the night before. That happens all too often on Reddit. I saw another post where people were arguing 13-year-olds could consent to sex with adult men. 10. That threat of the father with the son who tried to kill his infant sibling. The mother beat the son what she thought to death on while she was doing it. The dad just went downstairs and waited. Left the son for dead in the attic, I think. The son survived, but the story is brutal. I remember this. She was very fit, knew how to fight. She and the husband spent years on therapy with him. But the son was almost only interested in causing pain. They had another and he cut the baby. So when the mom saw the cuts, she went full mama bear. The husband went into another room and the mom went loss on him. He lived. They lived in the basement whilst he survived, then they left. 11. Watch Pleadian cute of a corpse is used to be the dark corners of Reddit. The fact people could call a corpse cute is beyond disgusting. Live fast, die young, and leave behind a good-looking corpse? Nah, I wanna leave behind the creepiest eldritch monster-looking corpse possible. It's not even gonna resemble a human when I'm done. 12. Long story short, I was about 13 years old and my best friend, who was about 15, was severely depressed and had suicidal thoughts. He decided that his time was up and he invited me over to play some video games. When I got there, he was in his room waiting for me, and as soon as I opened the door and said hi, he then proceeded to blow his brains out with his dad's 12 gauge. 13. An EMT had made a comment under a post detailing about how a car accident caused a man to be chopped in half. The man was still alive when he got there, breathing and talking. I believe it was also a college kid and he wasn't wearing his seatbelt. I don't remember what post it was under, but most disturbing thing I've ever read. There are tons of stories, I don't have links, from EMTs that find an accident victim in a state where they are alive and stable, but as soon as they are moved they will die. The most common situation where this happens is when someone's lower half is crushed between two vehicles, like they were assisting someone on the side of the road. Moving them releases blood toxins produced from the crushed bones and uncirculated blood. They often call the victim's loved ones to facilitate final goodbyes. It's all depressing as hell. Don't seek these stories out. 14. I've seen a lot of sick, twisted things here, but the one that will always haunt me the most beyond any other post is the grandmother who refused to believe her granddaughter was allergic to coconut oil and killed her by leaving it her hair all night. The fact that she was never even arrested makes it so much worse, and the op rounded it off with something to the effect of, "Mom, we can talk again when you bring my daughter back. You can come over when you bring my daughter." Yeah, that last line killed me. The most heartbreaking thing I have read. A lot of horrible crap online, but that last line stayed with me, and is still something so haunting and awful that it leaves me thinking about it and feeling broken every time I think of it. 15. I'm pretty sure I remember seeing a kid be gunned down by an army police force, and the army police cheered and were happy about. Unfortunately, the kid was innocent and 9 years old. I saw this on my old account, which I deleted. Oh, holy fucking shit. Who the fuck thought a 9-year-old did something so terrible that they had to be gunned down? Even if the kid would have been guilty, they are trained adults and could have caught him easily if he tried escaping without fucking shooting him. 16. The kid who wrote about his mom. She was poor. They were starving. She fell in love and married a rich man. The kids were so happy to have a dad and healthy house. She cheats and he throws them out. They are back to being poor. The kids loses it on the mom and I think say she ruined his life. She kills herself. I remember reading that one. The kid, fought with the mom prior. So mom sent the younger siblings to someone else and committed suicide, so will be the one to find her dead. One last fuck you before she went off. 17. There's one person who rigs a BMX bike seat that has a seat that is built so when the thief that sits on it, the seat gives the way and a bar is stuck straight up their ass. Schadenfreude. 18. Video of a mass shooter. Was not censored either. That fucking vile video of that posse in New Zealand, who massacred Muslims in a mosque, is burned into my memory. The fucker shooting parents huddled with their children. Shooting the woman crawling away out into the street screaming for help, and then lunging over her buddy. That motherfucker deserves to be tortured for eternity in the lowest pits of hell. 19. A video where a stranger went to another man's house to buy a wood-cutting axe that was posted on Facebook Marketplace. The buyer hit a man in the head with the axe completely unprovoked and fled the scene. A home camera hanging in the corner caught it all. I can never forget the sound of the axe going through his skull, and the sound of a woman, presumably his partner, screaming in absolute terror as the buyer ran out of the house. To be honest, I can't even look at an axe without remembering that video. It shook me to my core.